It's so nice to be here at the Waldorf School. How many of you have ever read a Goosebumps book? Oh, wow. Thank you. I'm going to have to swivel. Uh, Thank you very much. And how many of you saw the Goosebumps movie? Oh, nice, nice. Jack Black and I are like twins, right? What do you think? Whenever I talk to kids, I always like to start out by reading a poem by a different author. This is a poem by Shel Silverstein. It's called Haunted. And I like this poem because it's scary and it's funny at the same time, which is what I try to do in my books. Here's Haunted. I dare you all to go into the haunted house on Howlin' Hill, where squiggly things with yellow eyes peek past the wormy windowsill. We'll creep into the moonlit yard where weeds reach out like fingers, and through the rotted old front door a squeaking on its hinges, down the dark and whispering hall, past the musty study, up the winding staircase. Don't step on the step that's bloody. Through the secret panel to the bedroom, where we'll slide into the ragged, cobweb, dusty bed 10 people must have died in. And the bats will screech, and the spirits will scream, and the thunder will crash like a horrible dream. And we'll sing with the zombies and dance with the dead and howl at the ghost with the axe in his head. And come to think of it, what do you say we go get some ice cream instead? That's good, right? That's Haunted by Shel Silverstein. Does anybody here like ghost stories? Yes? Yes, this is going to be hard to do on two sides, but you know what? I thought maybe you and I could write a ghost story together. Do you think we can do it? What do you think? Let's give it a try. Our story is called The Haunted Car, and the first thing I need is the name of a boy. Who has a good boy's name for me? Real loud. Who has a good boy's name? That's a tough one. Yes. Jack? All right, Jack is our boy. Jack. One day at dinner time, Jack's dad comes home and he says, "Guess what? I have a new car." Well, it isn't exactly new. In fact, it's kind of beat up. But I don't know why the man who sold it to me was so eager to get rid of it. But we have a new car, and Jack is so excited, he runs down to the street to take a look at the new car. Help me out here. Help me write this part. What does the car look like? What does it look like? Yellow and white stripes. Real loud.
It's old, it's rusty, and it's red. Red is blood, and
It's red like blood. Oh, man. You're starting to scare me.
and the little bumper thing on the back that says like the little numbers.
Yeah.
It says beware on the back.
It says beware on the back. I like that. That's great. What else about the car? What else about the car? Yes. I can't, real loud. Yeah, okay. And what else? What else about this car? It's kind of wrecked, right? What do you think? It's long. It's very long, but it's all dented and beat up. But Jack doesn't care. He's really excited. He says, "You know what? I just want to see what it feels like to sit behind the wheel." So he opens, this rain's not helpful. He opens the door. I'll talk real fast. He opens the car door, and when he does, he hears a girl's voice. So we need the name of a girl. Who has a good girl's name? What? What?
Mary.
Okay, Mary. Hold on a minute. He hears a whispered voice. "Take me for a ride. Jack, take me for a ride." Jack says, "Mary, did you say that?" She says, "Say what? I didn't say anything." He turns back and puts his hands on the wheel and hears, "Take me for a ride. and the car starts up. What should Jack do? Should he jump out as fast as he can? Or should he put his foot down on the gas pedal? What do you think? Now, let's vote. Let's vote. How many think he should jump out as fast as he can? All right. How many think we wouldn't have much of a ghost story if he jumped out? How many think he should put his foot down on the gas pedal? He puts his foot down, but he's too short. His foot doesn't reach the gas pedal. Yeah, and the car starts up anyway. And the car starts rolling down the street. And Jack is holding on to the steering wheel, and he's very scared. And he hears a whispered voice, faster, faster. And now he's really worried because Jack lives on a dead-end street. And the street ends in a brick wall. And he has no control over the car, and the car is going faster down the street. And Jack looks in the mirror, and in the mirror, he sees a hideous ghost. Help me write this card. What does the ghost look like? What does the ghost look like? Yes?
A little boy.
A little boy? No, it's a creepy ghost.
A creepy little boy.
What else about the ghost? Yeah.
A chicken wing.
He has what?
A chicken wing.
Chicken wings. What else? Yes, what do you think? Bloody Mary. What do those eyes look like? Yes. They're green. Green, gooey gobs of green. And Jack is terrified now. He doesn't know what to do. And the car hits a bump. And the glove compartment pops open. And in the glove compartment, Jack sees two things. He sees a rusty old knob, and he sees a book. And the book is called How to Get Rid of Ghosts. Which one should Jack use? Which one should he use? How many think he should use the rusty old knob? How many think Jack should take the book? Jack takes the book. He opens the book. Jack reads the book. The book says, use the knob. So he takes the knob and he puts it on the radio and he clicks it off. And when he does, the ghost lets out a hideous scream. What does the scream sound like? The ghost disappears. He defeated the ghost. And Jack looks out the car window and he sees he's back in front of his own house. How did that happen? He turns to Mary. He says, Mary, do you believe what you... Mary's gone. Mary's disappeared. Do you think she was the ghost? I don't know, but Jack runs into his house and he says, Dad, you won't believe what just happened to me. And his dad says, Jack, you ran out before I could show you your real surprise. And he takes Jack into the garage. And there in the garage is a bright, new, shiny bicycle. The bike that Jack has been waiting for months. And Jack is so excited, he goes running over to the bike and he puts his hands on the handlebars and he hears, take me for a ride. That's my story. Thank you for helping me write that. You know, when we published that, that book, I have to put all your names on it.
Yeah,
Very much.
clever.
Has anyone here ever seen a ghost? If you ever, I mean, no, a real ghost, not on television. Yeah? Not Casper. I don't know if I've ever seen a ghost or not. Maybe I did. I'm going to tell you a true story that happened to my brother Bill and me when we were kids back in Ohio. It's almost Halloween time, and this is a Halloween story. My brother and I were really excited because it was the first Halloween that we were allowed to go out trick-or-treating by ourselves, no parents. And we both dressed up as ghosts. We got sheets and cut out eyes, and we were both ghosts. And we got big bags, shopping bags, to carry all the candy we were going to collect. And I got a can, and you know that silly string? Yeah. I got a can of that just in case we had to string somebody. And I tucked that under my costume. And Bill and I went out. It was a cold October night. The ground was crunchy hard from frost. You know, the kind of cold that just sort of clings to your skin. And we were so excited. We always started trick-or-treating at Mrs. Wilson's house across the street. But tonight, her house was completely dark. And I said, I guess she isn't home, Bill. We'll just have, maybe we'll come back to her. And we started down the block. We were very poor, and we lived in a neighborhood of very tiny houses, all close together. And it was great at Halloween time, because you could go, you didn't have to go up any long driveways. You could go from house to house to house. There were all these little houses, and get candy with the tree. So Bill and I went about 4 or 5 blocks. We went up trick-or-treating, and then we came back, came all the way back, and by the time we got back, our bags were like bulging. We had all this great chocolate and all this great candy. And I looked across the street, and there was a light in Mrs. Wilson's front window. It was a bright orange light. I said, oh, I guess she's home, Bill. Let's go say hello and trick-or-treat. So we crossed the street, and as we got closer, I saw it wasn't a light. It was a big orange jack-o'-lantern, yellow, all fiery, with a big grin on its face, all yellow and orange, this huge grin in the front window. And Bill and I went up to the door, and I knocked on the door, and she didn't come. And I rang the doorbell. No answer. And Bill said, she's in there, Bob. Go ahead, string her. So I took out the can of string, and I raised it up to the door, and I was about to push the button when the door swung open, and Mrs. Wilson came out. No, I'm sorry. I had the can up here. And suddenly I looked in the front window, and the jack-o'-lantern had changed. It wasn't smiling anymore. The jack-o'-lantern had this big scowl on its face, and it was bright, fiery red. It had changed color, and it was scowling at Bill and me. And I dropped the can of string, and we both went running down the driveway. So what was going on here? And we were halfway down the driveway when the door swung open. And Mrs. Wilson came out, and I'll never forget her. She was wearing this long gray nightgown. This long nightgown, fluttering. It's fluttering in the wind. And she said, why did you wake me? Why did you wake me? And I said, oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Wilson. We didn't know you were sleeping. I'm sorry. Can I ask you one question? How did you do that with the jack-o'-lantern? And she said, jack-o'-lantern? What jack-o'-lantern? I don't have a jack-o'-lantern. And we looked in the front window. It was Bill and I went back across the street and we went up to our rooms and we divided up the chocolate and candy and we didn't talk about it at all.
Did it actually happen?
The next morning, I woke up and I thought I really should go apologize to Mrs. Wilson for waking her up last night. So I got dressed and we had breakfast and then I walked across the street to go see her and there was a huge truck in her driveway and men were moving back and forth, carrying things back and forth from the house to the truck. And I stopped one of the men. I said, "What's going on?" And he said, "I guess you're getting new neighbors, kids." And I said, "Why? What do you mean?" He said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't you hear? Mrs. Wilson died 2 weeks ago." That's my true ghost story.
Oh my God.
Think maybe I made up part of that true ghost story? You think maybe I made up a lot of it? I do write stories for a living. I know that. Who has a question for me? Who has a good question? We have time for a few questions. Oh, Chad has a question.
What inspired you to write these books?
I just like to scare kids. Kids like to be scared, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know when I started writing? I was 9 years old. I found this typewriter up in the attic. Anybody know what a typewriter is? You see them in museums? And I started typing. I was in my room. You have one?
Yeah.
Nice. I'd be in my room. I was this weird kid. I'd be in my room all afternoon, typing out stories, typing. And I don't know why I liked it so much. I was 9. I loved writing stories then. My mother would stand outside my door and she'd say, "What's wrong with you? Go outside and play. Go outside." And I'd say, "It's boring out there." Type. I've been doing it ever since. Good. You have some questions for me? You have them written down? What do you got?
The students have been so excited about your visit that they actually, so many questions, I typed some up. They turn them in. You can choose what you want to answer. Or...
What is your favorite Goosebumps character?
Yes.
It has to be Slappy, right?
Yeah.
Right? He's so evil. And I've said, as I started to say outside, I'm going to write 4 more Goosebumps books for next year. And the books are called Goosebumps Slappy World. Slappy introduces every story. The first one is called Slappy Birthday to You. Who has a question? Give me a question.
What gave you the idea of Slappy the puppet?
When I was a kid, when I was your age, I had all these puppets. I had marionettes. I don't know why. I liked them so much. And I just had it. And then I saw there was a movie, an old movie called Dead of Night, which was about a ventriloquist who had a dummy, and the dummy came to life and ruined his life. The dummy was horrible. And I saw that when I was like a kid, and somehow it just stayed in my head. And later on, I think that's where Slappy came from. Who else? Who has a good question?
How many books have you read?
How many books have I written? Oh, I hate to say the number. I've written 350.
That's a
I lost it. That's a lot, right? I write every day. What else would I do all day? Every day I get up and we walk the dog and I sit down and write. And I write 2,000 words every day. And then I quit. That's it. And I still have so much fun. It's so much fun to write these books. You know, the kids like them so much. Who else has a question? Yes.
You say you write 2,000 words every day. Do you stop at 2,000?
Yes.
You're inspired. You
No,
do?
I stopped. Yeah. It's kind of a game. I just stopped. I do 2,000 words. So Goosebumps book takes about 2 weeks to write. But I plan it all first. I do an outline of every book I write. Kids hate to hear this. Everybody hates outlines. But I do a chapter by chapter outline of every book I write before I write. So when I sit down to write the book, I know everything that's going to happen in the book. I know the ending, I know all the surprises, and that way I could never have writer's block. Because I've done all the planning, I've done all the work, and then I can just enjoy the writing. People always ask about writer's block, but I don't know. I've never had it because of all the planning. Yes? Hi. Yeah.
How many sentences do you write a day?
How many sentences do I write a day? No one ever asked me that question before. I have no idea.
Divide by 7.
How many?
Divide by 7.
Divide by 7. It's about 10 pages a day. 10 pages a day. And if we didn't have email and Twitter and Facebook, I could probably do 20 a day. I'm too stupid to turn it off when I'm working. Yes, hi.
How is the setup when you sit, and how is there? Can you describe how is the room where you write, and how do you block out outside distraction?
I don't know. We have an apartment in New York City, and I have a room in the apartment, sort of share it with the dog. And I have a desk, and I write all my books on the laptop, and I have a human skeleton in my office, and a lot of eyeballs, and I have a 3-foot-long cockroach. An inspiration. Not many people have a 3-foot-long cockroach. I tell everyone I caught it on mistake, but it's not true. So I have a lot of atmosphere, and I have a lot of horror movie posters all over my office, and that kind of thing, just, to get in the mood. But I don't really, I can write anywhere. If you really love to write, you can just write. Just write. That's what my office looks like in my apartment. Who has a good question? Yes.
How do you keep track of all the words you write?
How
Do you count the words you write so you don't do, not enough or too much?
Well, in a computer, at the bottom of the page, it tells you how many words you written. But I just know I have to do about 2 pages. I know how long every Goosebumps book, every book has to be. So that's fun. The fun part is now, I've written maybe 130 Goosebumps books. Next year is the 25th anniversary of Goosebumps. It's hard to believe that. And, yes, we did make a Goosebumps movie, and Jack Black played me. That was kind of fun. That was, he was great. We had 40 monsters in that movie. You can see it's on Netflix now. So we had 40 monsters in Goosebumps. We didn't save anything for the next movie. We used it all up. Yes.
Me?
Yeah.
What was your opinion of that TV show from the 90s?
Which one?
The one
The
from
Goosebumps show?
Yeah, your opinion of
Oh, I
that.
love that show.
Okay, just
They
wondering.
hold up pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was very happy with that show.
yeah.
And they look very 90s.
Yeah.
But they did a very nice job.
Yeah.
I think we have time for 1, maybe 2 questions. What do you think? Where? Who are you pointing at? I don't know where you're pointing. Who? Who has a good question? Yes, black shirt.
What does the R and the L stand for?
Oh, that's an easy one ask me an easy question. That's my name, Robert Lawrence. It's not scary at all. What a boring name. That's what the RL stands for. Yes.
What's your favorite book?
My favorite book that I've written? I think The Haunted Mask. You know that one? Haunted Mask, it's all The Haunted Mask. I think that's my favorite. Well, thank you very much. I really enjoyed talking with you today.
Traveled from New York here to New Orleans. We hope that next time you're in New Orleans, there will be beautiful weather. And we hope that you will consider our school your home. The children, yes, you are, if I had a key to the Waldorf School, I would give it to you. The students
nice.
and staff and teachers have signed up for you.
Oh, nice.
And I think you saw the artwork from the younger students all around the building. The 7th and 8th
Very
graders
creepy.
have made this for you. So we
Oh, my
hope you'll
goodness.
think of us every time you see it.